Hey guys, we're in a different location today. I'm going to be filming a series of videos about some of my bag loadouts. I just recently got some new bags and set them up the way that I want them. And we're going to talk about, do you need one bag that works for everything, like a handyman bag that covers all the general repairs and trades, or is it better to have a separate bag for each trade? And I'll show you behind me how I have things set up right now. I've gone through different iterations. It's cold out here right now, so bear with me. I'm warming things up while I'm making the video. But I just wanted to show off a couple of my setups. You've seen some of these, especially you've probably seen a lot of pictures of this is basically my electrical install bag. It's a lot more heavy, more specialized tools in here for running wire, installing receptacles, switches, everything, diagnosing things. And if you followed me on Instagram for a long time, you probably saw this was one of the first bags that I started out with. This is the original Milwaukee job site backpack. I do like a lot of features on this bag. I originally started out with this as more of a cover all your bases, kind of a handyman grab and go bag. But as my tool collection has grown and I've needed specialized tools, especially for working on our place, renovating, installing new electrical and plumbing and things like that, it's kind of expanded. So this bag has become my carpentry bag. I think it works out pretty well for that, just because it has all these internal slots in here for different hand tools. And I can set this up the way that I want. I even have one of my Occidental leather pouches set up specifically for repairing doors and just machining doors, installing hinges, locks, stuff like that. So it works out pretty good for that. And then I have just, trim tools, just a 5-in-1 tool, my nice Weehaw screwdrivers, some just repair stuff at the top. I do have the Weehaw 6-inch end cutters, which I use for pulling trim nails. It works out really well for that. That was probably the first set of Weehaw pliers I ever got. And then I have an S-Twing 16-ounce hammer, my stud tape measure. In this pouch I have marking tools. I do have a stud buddy in here, and layout tools, my levels, my little trim squares, T-squares, everything, and a good fixed utility knife, and a few other little construction related things. And it works out pretty well because if I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of either trim, repairs, any woodworking stuff, I'll grab this first. I always have a base level of tools with me. I always have a Leatherman, a knife. You've seen my little tool pouches that I set up. That's the next layer of tool preparedness, is what I would call it. That gives me my most used tools on a pouch that I can have. I am experimenting with setting up vests for specific tasks. Still playing around with that. That would be another layer to have a few tools on me, but kind of a lightweight setup. But these bags represent the heavy tasks, and they all carry somewhat specific tools, some specialty tools. And I like having the freedom to set this up because I have a base level of tools that I would grab for just maintenance, diagnostic things, little repairs, and then I have specialty tools that I can grab and go if I'm helping a friend on a large project or if I know I need that stuff. So here are the latest two that you guys haven't seen. The first one is this job site backpack from Genre Tools. I just recently won this, and I am setting this up as my plumbing bag. yes, you can get away with having a pair of Cobras, maybe an adjustable wrench, and other things for plumbing repairs, but this would be more of like a plumbing install bag and for heavier plumbing tasks. So I'm going to make a separate video on this. And I also want to show off, this was the first, probably the first Milwaukee product I ever bought. And it's still one of my favorite of their bags. I'm not too crazy about all of their construction bags and belts and stuff like that, but this is such a nice pouch because it can work basically as a standalone bag, kind of like the way people use some of their Vito bags. Even had a shoulder strap that came with it. This is their electrical install pouch, I think is what it's called. I also modified it so that I can hang it on a Milwaukee pack-out cleat. Maybe I'll stop and we'll bring the camera in closer and I'll show you how I've loaded this thing out for my electrical diagnostic bag. All right, here we go, guys. I know that this pouch looks pretty loaded, but I feel like these are some essential tools for electrical diagnostic. I'm just a DIYer, but I have gone and helped friends with electrical projects. I've gone and replaced receptacles for them. I've replaced breakers, helped them clean out their breaker panel, things like that. And now that I have some of these new tools from Tool Tools, it's really going to help me out on that. I've always wanted a circuit breaker finder, and now I have one. It's their CBF 100 circuit breaker finder. I haven't tried this out yet, but I did try out the included GFCI tester. Super handy to have, a little bit better than just your basic outlet tester. Then I also have their auto ranging multimeter. This is pretty cool. I've never had anything like this before. Let's see if I can open it up with one hand. Okay, get it flipped around here. This is a nice little kit. This looks small. It's smaller than, today's phones. Almost kind of looks like a toy. But it has all the functions of a traditional multimeter, except they all come on automatically. So there's no guesswork. Just because I don't do electrical every day, sometimes I have to think about, well, what setting do I have to have the switch set to for a particular diagnostic thing or whatever. This auto ranges between all those different functions. Comes with a nice set of leads, good quality. One thing I noticed playing around with it is it even comes with the little limiting caps. See if I can pull it off. There we go. Limiting caps for the end of the leads. Those are nice to have because sometimes you don't want your leads to go too far into a panel or into a receptacle, depending on how you're testing stuff. I was actually really impressed with this kit. Check out my Instagram stories for all the little details and how I like this thing. But it's got a nice bright screen. Let's see if it'll turn on here. There it goes. I ran it through its paces a little bit and just tried it out. I'm excited to use this. I end up using the multimeter a lot, whether it's in the house, out in the shop, working on vehicles. So I'm going to try this thing out and really see how it does. Now you notice a lot of red and yellow. I got the, what is it? I think it's the 11-piece insulated tool set from Tool Tools, and I decided to put a lot of them in this kit just because I like the insulated handles, the grips. I'll probably do a separate complete video on these, but I like that they're a small size. These are all basically 6-inch tools, and they work out well for a diagnostic bag like this because if you need to reach in somewhere and pull something out and you don't want to get shocked, these will come in handy. Try not to move the tools around too much. And I also included, I think, most of the insulated screwdrivers that I'm going to try out. Like I said, they come in handy. I like the tips on these. Like I said, I'm going to do a full video in the future. Besides, or actually also, here's their end wire strippers. It's kind of neat. I've never used this design before. This is more of a European design. But I could see it being handy for, let's say you pulled a receptacle out and you want to freshen up the wires, but you don't have a lot of length to pull them out of the box to get, a traditional set of strippers in there to pull it, I could see these being handy because you can reach in, strip the wire, keeps it nice and straight, and then you're ready to go. For now, I do have my Milwaukee strippers in here. These are still some of my favorite strippers. They fit well in here. And I decided to put my Knipex long reach needle nose pliers in here, just because these little 6-inch insulated ones, yeah, they're nice for working in a panel, working with a receptacle, but let's say something falls deep down into a hole, or I need to really reach back in something and there's no power. I feel like this would probably work out a lot better for that. Besides that screwdriver set, I do have, you've seen this before, the Phalo insulated bit driver with an ECX bit in here for tightening receptacles. I figured that would be handy to have in case I need to tighten things up on the fly. And then, let's see, I just have my fastback knife in there, hot stick, and I did decide, if I can pull it out, I did decide to put the little Klein 8-in-1 stubby in here. There we go. With the flip socket end on here, just because I didn't want to have to carry my 11-in-1 screwdriver in here. I have the bit driver, I have dedicated screwdrivers. Let's say I don't have the right bit for something, it's probably in here. Oh, just dropped it. And as you saw, it has the flip sockets, 1/4 and 5/16. So yeah, I'm excited to try this out. This is probably going to be my grab and go electrical pouch now, to where I won't have to necessarily grab my tote unless it's a really big project. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer to carry a separate bag? Or like I started out, did you just start out with a handyman bag and you threw all of your electrical, plumbing, painting, carpentry tools, everything all in one? You can overload a bag pretty quick doing that, but I feel like having the freedom to have these separate bags makes my life a little easier, and it keeps things more organized for me. So yeah, let me know down in the comments how you set things up, and we'll catch you on the next video.